Welcome to Tejano Time Podcast, where we celebrate the music, culture, and traditions of Tejano music. Thanks for joining us as we sit down with the biggest names in Tejano music. From legendary artists to rising stars, we will talk about their latest projects, share stories from the road, and maybe dive into history and heritage of Tejano music. So grab your favorite drink, sit back, and enjoy this episode of Tejano Time. Here's your host, Keith Vian.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode here of the Tejano Time Podcast, and make sure my guests are ready to go here. Yes, they are, and they're on the screen. They're live with us here, and a big hello to everyone watching on Tejano TV as well, because we are streaming this broadcast live there as well. So a big shout out to you guys and everybody over on YouTube, and of course here on Facebook. Yes, definitely. So thank you guys. Share the live, please. If you're watching right now, share the live. I would like to welcome back to the show a great friend, and a great artist as well as the Hilda Lamas. Welcome back here to Tejano Time.
Oh, thank you guys so much for having me. It's always so much fun here being with you guys.
Awesome. We are happy to have you. And my co-host, Amanda Cisneros, welcome back as well. Mr. Antonio V is back after missing an action last week.
¿Qué pasó, Antonio?
Hey, all that counts is that he came back this week, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's all good. Family first, my brother. Yes, definitely. So, talk to us, Hilda. Let us know, how's life been treating you these days?
Man, life has been crazy busy, but in a good way. I really can't complain. I'm just so thankful and so blessed to be able to do what I love to do, and that's music, and just meeting new people and visiting with everybody, and just coming together. It's those are some of my favorite things to do. And the fact that I get to do that, I'm just truly blessed.
Of course. Yes. And congratulations to you on the, we didn't get a chance to take a pic during the Tejano Roots Hall of Fame induction ceremony back in last year. Well, was it? It was early this year, but for 2024.
January, yeah.
Yeah, in January, yes. Class of 2024. So big congratulations to you as well.
Congratulations to you, and thank you so much. Like, it's kind of cool. We're in the same class. I never thought that would happen.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, it was a lot of great people there, and of course, a lot of great artists and friends and whatnot. So it was a great experience.
It was wonderful to see so many amazing artists and just everybody in the industry just be in one room, and they're just all there just supporting everybody. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes, it is. It was definitely. So again, you are back, and you're back with some new music, but we don't want to shy it away from, what was the name of that country song that we got here?
Hazy with a Chance of Rain.
Yes. We have that one as well that we will share with everybody out there on your countryside, as a matter of fact, as well. And your new single, Aquí Estoy, which is out right now and available on all platforms. So we'll get to that as well. And that is, it's starting to pop. Tell us a little bit about your new single.
Wow. We kind of sat on this one for a while. Mm-hmm. And it's funny how music works, because we spend so much time in the studio recording, and some things make it out, some things don't. They just kind of sit there for a while, right? And that was the case for this song. And so finally, when we revisited the song, this was probably back in maybe September, October, And I think life was just doing what life does. And for that, in that particular moment, it was just kind of like, yeah, let's do it. Let's finally finish this song. And that's what we did. And I don't know, I was kind of on the fence with it. I was like, it might be a little too bubblegum for me. Everybody's used to me being like real gritona and, putting like everything into it. Not that I didn't put everything into this. It's just vocally, this required a little different finesse. And I kind of took a gamble on it, and I just said, you know what, let's just do it. It's a great song. I love the lyrics. I don't know anybody who hasn't had that secret love at one point in their life where they're just like, hey, I want to tell you this, but we're really good friends, and I don't want to mess that up either, kind of thing. And so I think a lot of people can relate to the lyrics and that was the big driving force for me. Not to mention, it just feels good. It's a feel good song, and I'm all about feel good music in general. So we decided to put it out in January, and it's received a really good feedback. And, I'm just having fun out there sharing it with people, promoting it. We're playing it in our live shows. We just did a live show here in Harlingen on Saturday at Market Days, and it was amazing. We had such a great time. People really responded to it. So I'm just having a good time playing the song for everybody, and I'm glad that people are enjoying it.
Yes, I was wondering when you're well, we're going to talk shows, throughout the broadcast, of course, as well. But yeah, so you're already performing the song, so that's great. So you're getting great feedback. Amazing, nice. Amanda?
Yes, it's been fun. It's been fun to see how people respond. At first, a really good friend of mine, he's a DJ, and he was like, "Wow, I don't know if it's danceable like that," because for a DJ, that's usually the big thing. It's like, I don't know if it's danceable. If I play it for my crowds, like, are they going to dance to it? And so the first night we played it live with the band, I was like, you know what, let's just take a gamble. And to see the dance floor fill up, I was like, okay, all right, we can do this. This is going to be good. And because for me, it's always about the response of the people.
Yes.
I could be feeling a song, but if the crowd's not feeling it, sorry, it's just it's good in my private collection for me to enjoy later. So it's been fun to watch it just kind of organically grow and pick up a little bit of steam, so to speak.
Well, awesome. That's good. I'm
That's
great.
good.
I'm
So
happy
what
for
made you go into that type of genre, into that like did it just come out of nowhere, or have you always wanted to kind of get into that genre?
For me, music has always been an interesting journey. So take you guys back to what I was raised on was Motown, soul, gospel.
Okay.
I remember being in first grade and thinking Aretha Franklin was the greatest thing since peanut butter. Mind you, she was big in the 60s, and I was in first grade in like the 80s. So that kind of gives you a little bit of a back history of how far behind I was with music. But as I grew up, I was exposed to Gloria Estefan and country. Like I love country music. 90s country is my jam. And I just kind of started having a love for all sorts of different genres of music. So for me, it's always been, does it feel good? That is always the first question. Does it feel good? And if it feels good, I'm going to give it a listen. And then for me, it's the lyrics and what is the message in that song? And so, that's kind of where I kind of gravitate to, those two things. And so when I originally started out as an artist, I was doing Latin rock. And so I went from Latin rock to soul to blues to country, and then Tejano. And I always owe I always give him credit for this. Mr. David Noyola, a radio DJ from Corpus Christi.
Right.
And he would always tell me, he's like, Mija, you sing so pretty, but could you imagine how good you would sound singing Tejano? And he would always beg me, Mija, please just do a Tejano song for me, just one. And I promised him, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do it. And at that time, it was always just talk like, okay, David, I'll do it for you. Just give me time, right? You know how that goes. And unfortunately, we lost him a few years ago. And that really, I really took his passing hard. And it was just kind of that thing. I just kind of looked at my producer, Rick, and I just said, you know what? We got to do some Tejano, and I've got to do it for David. And that kind of started this whole Tejano journey for me. I have not turned my back on any other genre. I'm still recording my blues and my country and my soul, and I'm just a little bit of everything. But this Tejano project has really taken a mind of its own. And so I say David's the one who brought me to Tejano. Even though I knew about Tejano, I knew of Tejano. I was kind of a latecomer to Tejano. But I owe it to David, and he's the one who really pushed for it. So
how young were you when you decided to finally do that, Tejano?
Oh, I don't say that I was young. I mean, I've been on the Tejano journey maybe, Keith, what do you think? Like 3 or 4 years now?
About 3 to 4 years, right?
Yeah, I'm like a baby in Tejano. It's kind of interesting. I'm not a baby to music, but I'm a baby to Tejano.
Wow.
So what does it mean to you, to be a Latina in singing country music?
Yeah. It's interesting because I never really looked at that growing up. It was just, it's country and it's good. And I like the message and I love the melody. And of course, those big voices in country music, you've got Faith Hill, Martina McBride, Leanne Rimes. And now, of course, the newer ones, you've got your Carrie Underwoods, your Alexander Kays, and I never really looked at skin color or ethnicity because it's always just been about the music. And I think lately you see a lot more of that brought to the forefront, which in a way it's good. And in a way, I think we can kind of do without it because music is just music, and there are no boundaries to music.
Right.
And I think that's why I like to jump around to so many different genres because what are the boundaries? They're only the boundaries that you set for it.
Yeah.
Right.
You're right.
But I love country music and I'm just so thankful that they've accepted me into the genre because that's always a big thing. Are you going to be accepted into the genre that you're doing? And I feel so blessed because I've received, the welcome mat for country music, the welcome mat for blues, and now the welcome mat for Tejano. And, I think it's just a nice, show of what can happen when you just make it about the music instead of all the barriers and the speed bumps that are thrown in front of you. You just kind of go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very correct. Tony, how you feeling down there, Tone?
I'm good.
Antonio. I'm sorry, Antonio. Yes, we did have to change his name.
No, I was just listening to her, and earlier you were saying something about how are people going to respond to your song and all this. We see it. I see it quite a bit. When we go out and dance and listen to other bands. There's just some songs that that people aren't going to respond the way that you would expect them to, but you can feel their energy even sitting, at a table. You can see their movement that they're liking it because I can't think off the top of my head, but there are some songs that, how do you dance that? How do you not dance that? But people are still digging it. People are still liking it. So, that was something you were saying. How are people going to respond to it? You put the time and you did what you needed to do and you loved it, you liked it, so I think that means a lot. Everybody responds different nowadays. It's not like it was back in the 80s and 90s where everybody would just dance to everything. So, there's just those songs, I do it. I'm like, I'm not gonna dance to that. It's just a chill song, something to relax, take a break maybe or something.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, a nice adult beverage, just kick it with your girlfriends.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, what is it? Ramon Ayala, Tragos Amargos. I've never danced that song, but you just said it. I'm gonna sit at my table and I'm gonna drink a couple of Hima just enjoy the song,
Yeah.
And sing it at the top of your lungs, no matter how good or bad it sounds, right?
That's absolutely. That's what I always do. I think I sound great. Everybody else may not think the same thing, but I'm not a singer, so I try my heart though.
I'm sure as an artist, you can feel the energy coming from the people, whether they're dancing, whether they're sitting down, and like Amanda just said, you're just gonna sing. You're just gonna sing it, and do what you do.
Yeah. And that is true, Tony. Very, very true. But we want to send a shout out to let's see, we got Alejandro Lopez says hello everyone. April, Corrales también also is tuned in as well. So thank you so much, April.
Oh, hey
Luis
guys.
Garcia says, "What's up, Hilda?"
Hi, Luis.
And we want to send a shout out to Danny Noyola también, who's watching, which is the
Oh,
brother of
Danny.
um,
Of David.
David, who you just mentioned earlier as well. Yes, who's watching the show. So saludos, Danny Noyola, también para Joe
Hi,
Leal.
Danny.
We got a lot of people watching over here. Ricky Duran, Joe Leal, Laura Rodriguez. So to everybody that's out there, share the live, guys, wherever you may be watching from, whether you're here. Jennifer Lynn también is tuned in. Thank you guys for tuning in, and to everyone on Tejano TV as well. We're going to get to her new song here in just a bit, the one we're just talking about and getting all hyped up about, so that way you guys get a chance to hear it right there. Iris Simmons también as well is tuned in. Says
Oh,
hi,
Miss
Hilda.
Iris. I will be seeing her on Sunday, actually. They're in Corpus Christi.
All right, great. Corpus Christi.
Awesome.
So yes. So Hilda, let's talk a little bit about the before we play the new tune for. We want to play the new tune out there. Well, Rick Valderramas también is also on the show, so he says,
Hey, Rick.
"Saludos, Rick. Saludos, Rick." And Iris says, "Aloha."
Oh.
So she's definitely waiting for you there in Corpus Christi. So let's talk a little bit of give me a little bit of the inside scoop on the song itself. The production, who produced it, and whatnot. Aquí estoy is the name of your new
Well,
track.
of course, every single song I've ever done in my entire career is produced by the one and only Mr. Rick Garcia, Hall of Famer,
Yeah.
just all around neat guy. I'm not biased at all, by the way. But I mean, it's kind of surreal to know that every single one of my projects has been produced with such, somebody who is just so legendary in the business, who's produced so many amazing artists throughout their careers. And just to sit here and think about it, I'm like, wow, like I get to do that with like all of my projects, right? So right there, it just kind of tells you the caliber of musicians, the caliber of production that I've had with this particular song, and really all of my songs. Man, the musicians on it, amazing, just beasts in the studio, and I'm so blessed to be able to work with them. And on this particular project, they actually did it without me being there, which is kind of rare because I like to be in all of my studio sessions and sit there and kind of vibe with everybody. But for this project, it was just one of those. I was in and out. I was doing a lot of promotion for the country single, so I wasn't really able to be there. But that's one of the beauties of being able to trust your producer, because okay, he knows what's best for you, right? That's why you have a producer. And two, he knows my vibe. He knows what I'm good with. He knows my weaknesses and my strengths. So it was very easy to just kind of sit back on this project and let Rick just do what Rick knows how to do. And, the proof is in the pudding. He's amazing.
Yes, Mr. Rick Garcia, one of a kind of guy with a great voice, a man of many talents as well. I mean, he's amazing. Great announcer, by the way, as well. Yes, the dude kills it. Yes, so saludos to Rick Garcia también as well.
Yeah, I think he's watching tonight. I'm not too sure, but
I hope so. Yes, so he'll chime in if you are watching, Rick. If you are, he might be tied up at the studio and whatnot. Saludos, amigos, from Alma and Danny Noyola there in Corpus Christi. Saludos.
Oh, hi, Danny and Alma.
Yes. Yeah, it's got a brand new single out as well, Danny. Congratulations on that song as well.
Oh,
Definitely.
congratulations.
Yes. So what you got there, Amanda?
So I have my questions. I'm just waiting to chime in. I'm just waiting to chime in. I know I have a whole list, but so how do you stay balanced, staying true to yourself in the different genres of music? You said Motown, blues, country, Tejano. How do you stay true to yourself when you're writing these songs and singing these songs on so many different platforms?
That is an awesome question. I wish there was some secret advice I can give everybody, but there's really not. Just the one thing I've learned throughout my entire career, and I've been at this for a while. I know a lot of people have this misconception that I've been in this business for, like 5 minutes. But I've been doing this since about 2005, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I've learned is if I just don't feel the song, don't sing it.
That's it. Okay.
And that's really the only thing I can give anybody out there is if you don't feel it, don't sing it, because people can tell. They can tell in your delivery, whether or not you're trying to give it your all, and you may be giving it your all, but if you don't feel it, there's just no way for you to really convey that message over to your audience. And so there have been songs that I have passed on. There have been songs that I have written that I have just like, that song's not for me, but it's a good song, but it's not for me.
Yeah.
And it's okay to do that. You know, and so I guess if there's a secret, that's how I keep my sanity, is if I just don't feel it, I don't sing it. And absolutely. I do that in my live shows too. If I'm not feeling it, I'm not going to sing it.
And that's awesome. That's definitely staying true to yourself, trained true to yourself as a performer, as an artist that can go back and forth from so many different platforms and you know, from country to Motown to Tejano. I think that's absolutely amazing. So I had some questions over here on TikTok because I'm live on TikTok. Oh, so okay. Everybody who's over here, it's Miss Hilda Lamas. Say hello.
Hi, y'all.
Make sure you guys follow her. We're just discussing, you know me, I always have questions. So, but yes, I wanted to make sure I updated them on who we're interviewing this evening.
Oh, well, thank you guys for tuning in.
Yes.
Amazing. And so Mr. Rick Garcia says, I'm here. Great show. Thank you, Rick. There he is right there, Mr. Producer himself. So let's go ahead and play the tune. Let's go ahead and play the tracks. I'm sure they're waiting for it out there. So these guys can take a listen to it. Let us know what you guys think as well. Comment, chime in. To everybody on Tejano TV as well, thank you for being patient. And we are going to play the song right now from CHR Recording Star. Right here, we are talking about Hilda Lamas and her brand new single. It's out right now and available, guys, on all digital platforms. Aquí estoy. So check it out, and we'll be right back here in just a few on Tejano Time.
Déjame confesar, y es tiempo para decir, yo sé que somos no más que amigos.
Estoy is the name of the song right there. You just heard Hilda Lamas, out on all digital platforms. CHR recording artist. That's right, CHR Records. So, yeah, great song right there. Yes, everybody out over in San Angelo got us tuned in as well. Saludos. Thank you so much. I believe that was Rita Cappuccino's husband is tuned into the show. Yeah. Yes.
Oh, big shout out to my girl Rita. She's amazing.
Yes, she's doing very well, very well with her latest as well. So yes, saludos to you guys. Thank you so much for watching. So yeah, great song. By the way. And what did you guys think? I don't know if I'm sure Tonio's heard it before, right, Tonio?
Oh yeah, that definitely a good dancing song. Nice slow rhythm. I mean, that very awesome. Very well done. I like that. Yep.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I went and stalked you on all your platforms already, girl. So I'm sure you're like, who is this? That was me. I like, share, comment, all that good stuff. Okay.
Girl, you're awesome.
So, were there any musicians or family members that encouraged you in the growing up to make you lead your way to music? Anyone that you had growing up?
Well, first and foremost, my mom. I grew up in a Baptist church, and I grew up singing. That's what we did. My mom would play the piano, and me and my 3 other sisters, we would sing. So there's 8 kids, and the older 4 are girls, and so me and my sisters, we were always singing specials in church. My mom was always there singing along with us. So that was really my first inspiration. My first introduction to music was singing in church. And I still have such a love for gospel and contemporary Christian music. And so I owe that to my mom. But then also, I have my tia Dulce, la cantante. We recently lost her back in December. And I was kind of like a late comer to her music. So I always knew about my mom's cousin Dulce, like, hey, she sings, like that was it. Like that was the extent of it. And I never really knew the impact that she had in music until I was much older, when I started exploring, like, okay, who is my tia Dulce and what has she done? And that's when I really started researching. And I remember I reached out to her. My Spanish back then was like horrendous. It's still not that great now, but it's improved, right? And so we had a nice little pen pal relationship there for a while, in the very beginning, before I ever met her. Of course, she spoke, pretty much 100% Spanish. And here I was, an English speaker, growing up on 2 separate sides of the border, really. And it was a very interesting relationship, because I admired her so much, and I still do, even though she's no longer with us. She left such a legacy in music. And I feel this just this responsibility to continue our family legacy that she started ultimately. And out of everybody else in the family, to my knowledge, of course, I've got a large family, but to my knowledge, I'm the only other one that is continuing in music. She was always very encouraging. She would share my material. She's just amazing. And then to get to see her live, oh my goodness, her voice was just out of this world. And I say that because if you listen to her recordings, you're just like, wow, like, how does she hit those notes? And so effortlessly. And I remember the first time I saw her in concert, my jaw dropped to the floor, because she sang every single song in the original key. And if anybody knows anything about vocals, when you get older, your voice does, things just like the rest of your body, right? Yeah. And most vocalists, especially if they don't take care of their voice, they are not able to sing as high as they used to, right? You're always having to adjust the pitch, and she didn't. Everything was in the original key, the same amazing notes, and she would hit them so flawless and effortlessly. And I mean, I was in awe the first time I saw her. And even now, listening to some of her other recordings, her catalog is huge. I had the huge honor of singing at the mass that they had for her in Matamoros. And that was truly an experience. I kind of understood the magnitude of her musical legacy, but it wasn't until I was there in that moment in Matamoros, and you see this whole cathedral just filled with people, and they're not celebrities. They were just her fans that just showed up just to show her love. And I was so touched by that. Because most of these people didn't know who she was as a person. But they just felt so compelled to go and just show her love and take time out of their day and just, just love on her. It was just a beautiful, beautiful moment. And it really took me back because, like I said, she left such a legacy.
Yeah.
And it makes me think, like, because I'm getting up there in age, and you start thinking about things like that. Like, what kind of a legacy am I leaving behind? And, and it really takes me back to, like, to what kind of a person she was. And she was very giving and very loving. And I mean, she spoke her mind, but she was so poised about it. And, I start thinking, in those terms too, what are people going to say about me when I'm gone? And right. I want them to say, wow, she was giving, she loved music, she loved people. And, it really gives you something to work towards and to always be mindful of, and so it's just one of those, how do I say it? I have a lot of regrets, and a lot of sadness too, when I think about it, because the language barrier and, there's all this stuff with the border and this and that and whatever. But for me, on a personal note, like I'm not going to get into politics because that's like a whole nother talk show. Right. But you start seeing these little things because, we were on two separate sides of the border. And it makes me sad because I really wanted to know her better than I did, and we had, I think, the best relationship we probably could have, considering the barriers that we had in front of us. One thing it has really encouraged me to do is to really learn Spanish and to really study it, because I have a lot of other family in Mexico that I really can't get to know because of that language barrier. And so it brings me some sadness, but it also brings me some joy knowing that that's where I come from. Those are my roots. And for the longest time, because I was raised in a predominantly white, or Anglo, to be politically correct, town. I'm from Aransas Pass, Texas, I mean, and so we were taught English. I was not taught Spanish. My parents would speak Spanish, and that's how we knew we were in trouble, because they start talking to each other in Spanish, and we'd be listening like, hey, whose name are they going to say, right? And so we kind of picked up little things here and there, but we were not taught because they wanted us to fit in where we were. Right. And so now it's become this, I don't want to say like a treasure hunt, but it kind of is like a treasure hunt, because I'm trying to like find all the little bits and pieces of treasure of my family history, of my culture. And so it's awesome that I'm here in the Valley. I'm becoming a lot closer with my mom's side of the family, that because my mom was born and raised in Matamoros, so it's kind of like piecing together my culture, my history, my family tree almost, and on top of that, just the musical legacy. Now I know where it comes from, and it's a beautiful thing to make those discoveries.
I love that you have that piece, that you have this person that kind of influenced you and moved you to love the way you love the music right now, love the way you want to love that language and singing in that language. That's just amazing. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. It sounds like she played a big role, influence-wise, in your musical journey. So I have to ask, because it sounds like she really, really meant a lot to you through this. Is there anything or anything in the works that you might be planning to maybe pay a little bit of tribute to her, a song or two?
It's funny that you asked. That has actually been a topic of discussion. Before she passed, and I've shared this with my tia Isabel, who is Dulce's sister. Before my tia Dulce passed, Rick and I had already been in the studio. I had seen her live in concert, and it was Rick's idea, really, to just, hey, why don't we do one of her biggest hits was Tu Muñeca. And I don't know if you guys remember that, but Rick was like, it'd be really cool if she could collaborate with you on it. And unfortunately, before we could present the idea to her, she was already, really sick. And so the thing was, okay, we're going to wait till she's better and then we'll present her with this idea. Well, unfortunately, that day never came, but we have the song already recorded. It's in the can. And so after some talk with my tia Isabel, I got her blessing. And I will actually be working on an entire project, homenaje project for my tia Dulce. I'm going to be selecting some of her songs. In fact, we've already selected the songs. Now we're just in the studio recording, and they're going to be some of her biggest hits, but in estilo Tejano, because I'm not 100% Mexican. I'm like a mix, but I'm Tejana, and I wanted to do something to where it would honor her, but at the same time, like we talked about earlier, staying true to myself. Absolutely. And showcasing, okay, hey, this is who I am, but I wanted to pay tribute and share her music with our people over here, because I've learned that my generation we're really not familiar with her music. And if we are, we don't realize that it's her. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to do something that would just pay tribute to her and still carry on that legacy of her amazing music, because man, those songs, when you hear the lyrics, it's like, how do they get so deep? Right. And so we are working on that. Hopefully we will have the first single out, fingers crossed, maybe May or June. But it definitely is a labor of love, and it's a really emotional journey for me too, to do this. And wow, I can't wait for everybody to hear it.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear that you're going to do that. And like you said, you can't do it. We'll call it norteño, right? You can't do it her style norteño, but you know what? She's going to be looking down at you, and she's going to be watching you and blessing you, and you're going to do it your way. And that's probably what she would ask if she was still here with you today. That if you would have asked her, hey, can I do one of your songs? She'd probably give you that okay, because she knows that you're going to bring it Tejano ways. Mm-hmm. So that's awesome to hear. That I'm glad I asked that. I just kind of listen and pick up on stuff, but that is awesome that you're going to do something like that. I'm sure that she's going to be very proud of you when that does come out.
Thank you. It's a huge undertaking, and by no means do I think I'm anywhere near her caliber. She was amazing, and she's always going to be like my number one superstar in my eyes. I mean, she's just so phenomenal. But I just feel that it's important that we share her music and we share her legacy and we keep it going for generations to come.
Yep,
absolutely.
We definitely cannot wait for that, for sure. So you gave us a date already, somewhere between, I guess, June?
Somewhere in the summer, y'all. Early summer.
So be on the lookout for that, or Okay, so going back to, we're definitely going to be looking forward to that. There's no doubt about that. But I was going to ask you, Aki, a story that you just done, your single that's out. Now, production hasn't wrapped up yet on the video, correct?
No, it has not. In fact, we have not shot it yet.
Yeah. Okay.
So we've been doing, I'm going to give you guys a little behind the scenes peek of what's going on right now. I'm super excited, and I hope he doesn't get mad at me and give me a lecture tomorrow. I've been getting lectures all weekend, y'all. I just have to give a big shout out to my amazing manager. We're going to call him Mr. G for right now. But he just kind of came on board full time with my project, with my team. And so we kind of put a little pause on everything to kind of bring him in, get his creative input on everything. But he's been so supportive behind the scenes. And I can't wait for you guys to meet him. We kind of had like a soft introduction there in Alice. So for everybody who was there, you guys kind of got a little glimpse. But he adds so much to the team. So I'm very blessed because I have Rick, who's amazing on the production end, and of course, all of his contacts through all of the years. And now here I have Mr. G over here on this other side, who brings a whole fresh look on it. Like, he loves music. He's got this amazing history on music. I mean, he can pretty much tell you anything about any genre and any artist. And I never thought anybody could be as knowledgeable as Rick, but he comes really close. If not, you might have just a little bit up on Rick. Maybe. I don't know. That's like fighting words right now. But it's just, we're building the team. And so when that happens, we kind of take a step back because we really want to get everybody's creative juices flowing. I'm a big advocate for collaboration. And so I love it when I get Rick's input, I get, my new manager's input, the band's input. And that, to me, that's when you really create some magical moments. So right now we're kind of readjusting things.
Okay. Well, definitely, he'll be introduced to the world pretty soon, right there to the Tejano scene. So we'll have to sit back and wait on that. But right now, we got another magical moment. We have another song that we're going to play. Tell us a little about what is it? Little Haze with a Chance of Rain.
Hazy with a Chance of Rain. This is what I call my sleeper song, guys. So, gosh, I'm gonna go back to 2013. I was recording my blues record, "Love Me Alone." And my European agent at the time was like, hey, here's all these songs, because he also represented a whole bunch of songwriters from all over the world. And he's like, here's all these songs. Pick the ones that you want, and those are going to be the ones on the record. Okay, great. Well, it was a blues record. So I ran across this song, Hazy with a Chance of Rain. And I was like, man, it's just such a great song. And I was like, I want it, but it would not fit on that record because it was just 100% blues. It had a little bit of Latin in it, but it was mostly blues. And so he was like, okay, well, it's yours. So we sat on it for 11 years?
Wow.
11 years.
Wow.
And it was, again, one of those songs. We just had it in the can. And I think all we had to add to it was guitar. That was only piece we're really missing. And of course, re-singing the vocals and a fresh mix and master. And I don't know. I just turned to Rick and I said, okay, now's the time. Like, now's the moment. Let's do it. Let's put it out. And we did. And it's really, like I said, just the doors are opening for the country scene. And I don't know if it's because country is the big thing right now for Latinos, or if it's just the song in general, or if it's just that magical time, that we just kind of released it. Whatever it is, I'm embracing it and I'm welcoming it. It's just one of those songs that, to me, it's just so prolific. The lyrics,
Yeah.
It's like you're on the verge of crying. And instead of just saying, I'm fixing to cry, you're like, my eyes are hazy with a chance of rain. It's just so poetic. And again, I'm a big lyric person, so that line gets me every time.
Every time, huh?
Yeah.
But you're right. It is. I mean, well, it is the moment right now for country and Latinos, because it is happening, and it's happening a lot from a lot of different artists
Yes.
throughout the industry. So it's starting to become a thing now, and I think it's awesome. I think it goes together hand in hand with the Tejano music. So why not just add it? You know what I mean? So yeah, we're gonna take a listen to her new track right here. Well, it's not new. This was released back in 24 in September, right?
Yes,
Was it
September.
September, yeah.
It's still fairly new. It hasn't hit the
Yeah, it's
1-year-old
not
mark
too-
yet.
Yeah, it's not. It hasn't. Not even the 6 months yet, right? Or
Yeah, there you
it
go.
has.
Still newborn.
Check this one out, guys. Hazy with a Chance of Rain right here. CHR recording artist. We are talking about Hilda Lamas here is on the show with us this evening. So yes, everyone that's out there tuned in, thank you so much. And everyone on Tejano TV as well. Here we go. Be right back.
My thoughts are turning like the windmill, and the wind chill gets worse when I think of you. The dark don't help my heart, that's certain. I should open the curtains and take in a brighter view. The forecast for shaking up passing. Before too long I'll be moving on without you. I'll stop thinking about you. Sunshine instead of pain. Sometimes I wish I wore my heart like armor, 'cause when it's warmer, I'll be glad you're gone. And I'll run outside my door open wide, yeah. Before too long I'll be moving on without you. I'll stop thinking about you. Sunshine instead of pain. But right now I'm locked down, going crazy. My eyes are hazy with a chainsaw rain. I don't need a weatherman to know. My future's only partly cloudy. I can make it on my own. Before too long, I'll be moving on without you. I stop thinking about you. Sunshine instead of pain. But right now I'm locked down, going crazy. My eyes are hazy with a chance of rain. My eyes are hazy with a chance of rain.
Hazy with a Chance of Rain, available on all digital platforms right there. We're talking about Hilda Lamas. That's right. And we are back right here on Tejano Time, and Amanda's having all kinds of fun up there right now.
No, I thought she was blowing me kisses.
Yes, girl. I got you. I got plenty of
I was
kisses.
like, oh, she loves me.
Love you.
Another great song right there from Hilda Lamas, guys. You can go out there and stream it and add it to your playlist, guys. It's available out there. Search her right now. So we got a few more minutes here on the show. So anybody got any more questions? I know Amanda has a book.
I do. And I always ask this question. Usually, when it's what's the best advice that you've ever received, and what's the best advice you would give somebody coming new to the industry, whether it's Tejano, country, whatever it is they feel in their heart that they like to sing, whatever makes it for them, right? What would that advice be?
I think for me, the best advice I've ever received was from another singer. Her name was Norma Centeno. And she's amazing. I remember she dropped into one of my shows. God, we're going back about 15, 20 years. I was just getting started. And my band at the time, like it was just kind of chaotic. You know, it's your first time going around. You don't really know what to expect. You don't even know the first thing about running a band. And she pulled me aside, and she didn't even know anything. Like it was my first time meeting her, but I was a huge fan of her. She was there for the Texas Jazz Festival, and it was there in Corpus Christi. And I was playing at a little bar called Cassidy's Irish Pub. And I remember she pulled me aside, and I guess it was just so noticeable what was going on. And maybe she just knew that I was new to the industry. And she said, you need to either run your band or they will run you. And it's just very, very plain and simple. And at the time, I really didn't understand what that meant. Now that I'm older and time has gone on and I have all this experience under my belt, I now understand what she meant by that. And what that means to me is, you know, when you step into this position, you step into the limelight, you step into being the vocalist, the front person, you are the leader, and they will follow, but you have to be able to lead. And if you don't lead, they're going to lead you, and you're going to have no choice but to follow or get out. Like, I mean, that's just how it is. And I think over the years, I've been able to maintain that leadership role. It's not always easy. It's not going to always be pretty. But you basically accept that responsibility the minute that you say, okay, this is the life that I want. And it's a lot of hard work, but it's also very rewarding. So I think that was probably the best advice I ever got. As far as advice to anybody coming up, go with your gut. You know, that's one thing that I have learned in all the years I've been doing this. You've got a gut for a reason, right? And you just got to follow it sometimes, because there have been so many times where I'm like, no, it just doesn't feel right. And when it doesn't feel right, turn around and walk the other way. You know, because usually that's your intuition kicking in saying, hey, it doesn't feel right because it's not right. And, you know, just because you don't get the spot, you don't get the gig, you don't move on in a competition, it's not the end. You know, it just means that that particular thing, whatever it was, isn't meant for you. Mm-hmm. And you just have to keep going until you find what is meant for you, because there is a space out there for everybody. Yeah. But it may not be the one space or the one thing that you thought that you really wanted, because in my experience, it's always been, I wanted this, but then later on I get this and it's so much better, something bigger than I ever thought that I could have achieved.
Yeah.
Well, makes awesome. A lot of sense. So looking back on what you have accomplished throughout the years since you've been in the business, what are you most proud of?
I know this is going to sound really cheesy. It's going to sound really, really cheesy, but I think I'm most proud of the fact that I'm still here. You know, because if you look back, there are so many artists who start and then it gets difficult and they just quit. Yeah. And I think I'm most proudest that I am still here. I'm still doing it. I'm still in love with what I'm doing. That to me is just amazing, that I've been resilient enough to stay in the industry and not let it get me down. I've had my moments. I think everybody has those moments where you start second guessing, like, am I really meant to do this? And I'll be honest, about 7-8 years ago now, I came to the Valley and I was ready to quit music. I make no bones about that. I'm not going to hide that, but that's what I fully intended, was to quit music and just live a normal, regular life and just be, you know, just an 8 to 5-er Monday through Friday and just be content with that. And I will honestly tell you that the big man upstairs had other plans, because every time I try and just escape, I mean, I went so far as moving from Corpus to Harlingen, and there was always something there was always that one person at work who I guess just wanted to Google, hey, the new girl at work. And then my music would come up and it would just start with, you know, hey, can you sing at this Veterans Day ceremony? And how do you say no to a veteran? Like you don't, right? Yeah. And so that's how I would just start getting drawn in all over again. And I finally just had to look up and say, okay, God, you win. Like, I tried to not do this, but when you're just born to do something, it's going to happen. You know, and that's another thing that I've learned, is just, why fight it? You know, if you're meant to do it, it's going to happen. Whether you want to do it or not, it's going to happen, because that's what you're meant to do. And so now I am at an amazing place in my life to where I love music again. I've fallen in love with music again. And it took me almost quitting to really find that love again, because I think sometimes when it gets just so ugly with all the, you know, the ugly comments, all the no's that you get, it does get you down. It does bring that joy out of it sometimes. And I think it's good to just kind of take a step back and to reflect and fall in love all over again. You know, you remember why you fell in love with music to begin with. And I think that's the difference between my music early on and my music now, is that I'm just in love with music. I don't have to have a reason to do music. Music is my reason. Yeah. And I think that comes with just age and just wisdom that you get, you know, from being in music for so long. You're just kind of like, okay, you're like, I'm just okay with whatever. I don't need the number one hit. Yeah, would that be great? Sure. But at the end of the day, music is in my soul. It's in my DNA. It's part of who I am. And, you know, I do music because I love music.
Amazing. And we're happy to have you along, and we're happy to still have you in the music right now. So that's definitely, we're looking forward to all the upcoming projects that you have Again, what projects or anything of new music are you working on right now, other than the tribute? Obviously, the
Yeah, so we have the Ominaha album that we're working on, and that is going to be an album. We haven't decided exactly how many songs. But we also have the Tejano project that we started, and I've kind of just been releasing singles here and there, but hopefully by the end of this year, that will be released. I've got some new blues music coming out, and I'm so excited for that.
Awesome.
It's a whole nother world. It's like every genre is just different. It has its own little, its own little flavor, right? Even from the gigs to the radio personalities to everything is just, it's always so different. The personalities is just awesome. And so I'm excited to get back onto that right again. I've also been spending a lot of time songwriting in different genres. This year I'm going to branch out and try a project with a different producer. But that's all you're going to get for right now. But it's I've always been afraid to kind of venture out. When you find something that works, you just kind of stick with it. But it's just a fun collaboration opportunity that just kind of came about. And so I'm excited for that. And hopefully we'll get something out by the end of this year. And then, of course, me and my Christmas music, I absolutely love Christmas music. So there will be more of that coming out this year, and with some surprise collaborations. So I'm excited because it's just going to be a year full of music.
Awesome. Definitely. If you guys haven't, I know Antonio probably has because he's in the radio biz, but Amanda, you got to look her up. Look some of her Christmas songs up. She's got a wonderful voice. She kills it on them Christmas songs. I'm telling you, you have to go out there and listen to it. You got to look it up. And she's been following you. She's stalking all your pages like she's
Well, I was so excited because I was like, oh my God, my TikTok is blowing up. And I was like, who's this? I got a new stalker. I love it.
Yes, that's me. That's me.
I was like, I gotta go follow her back. Like, it's not every day you get a stalker, right? I mean,
yes.
I like attention, so you totally just stole my heart right there. I was like, she's getting attention.
So if anyone wanted to book you, we have the number up on the screen right now for bookings, right? 956-556-5595, guys. For any anything. We're talking about privates or maybe even a venue, a show or whatnot, outdoor events.
Yeah. Divorces. I do divorces, Yeah.
Those are a big thing now. Divorce parties are a huge deal.
Just a party, just to have a party, hey, whatever,
Yeah.
Just anything to celebrate, girl. Anything to celebrate. Life's so short. We need to celebrate.
Yeah. And, especially I will tell you guys this. My favorite song ever to sing is our national anthem. And I am not kidding you on that. That is for real. That's a for real thing for me. In fact, when I started singing professionally, that was the first song I was getting booked to sing a lot, was the national anthem. So if you have events, if you have sporting events, whatever kind of event, and you need the national anthem, just call the hotline. And Mr. G, he's got that number, so he will hook you up with some pricing and availability and everything like that. And he would be so proud of me because I actually put the booking number up. So.
Awesome. So y'all heard it here first, TikTokers. Y'all can book her national anthem, sporting events, whatever y'all need. Hit up my girl.
Yes, definitely. It's amazing right there with C8. Go ahead.
It's going to bring me to my last question because you guys just mentioned divorce. So I have to ask this question because my wife walked in. She heard you on that last song, Haze with the Chance of Rain. She just loved it. So the question is, do you have anything Christian-wise or anything in the future Christian-wise that you're going to drop?
Well, I have stuff in the can. We have not put a release date on it yet. There's some songs that I've written that we haven't recorded yet. But that's one of the big things that I do want to do is put out a gospel album. So for this year, probably not, but hopefully maybe by next year, but it is something in the works.
Cool. Now I know I get to sleep on the bed tonight. So no, she thought you had an amazing voice. She walked in to do something and she's like, oh, wow. She liked that. So she's like, it struck her because she listens to a lot of Christian music. So she's wondering if you had anything down or anything in the future for that.
Oh, please tell your wife I said thank you.
Awesome. So any final thoughts or any final words or anything you got? Any shout outs that you'd like to share, Hilda?
Just a big shout out to my amazing band. They do so much behind the scenes. They all have, their day jobs, their families, their all this other stuff, and they still find time to make music with me. And so I am forever thankful and appreciative of that, and them and their families. I think a lot of times people don't really understand that your families give up a lot when you're not there, whether it's birthdays or different, life events that happen that sometimes you have to miss out on when you're on the road. So a big shout out to them. Of course, Mr. Rick Garcia, my amazing producer, label, CHR Records, my fantastic manager, Mr. G, and just everybody who's just been in my corner. All the radio DJs, we're getting ready to go on another little promo tour. So we just got back from the Houston area actually last weekend, and that was a lot of fun. So we're hitting up Corpus this weekend. We've got some other plans to hit up, like Central Texas and some other areas. So just a big shout out to everybody who's been playing my music, who's been supportive of me over the years. Keith, man, you're like family. So thank you so much for all the love and the support. I really appreciate it. I couldn't do what I love doing without your help and your support. So thank you guys.
Very, very welcome. Yes. And don't forget to check her out also. You're still co-hosting the other show, right?
Yeah, so I'm actually skipping out tonight.
Yeah. So I was trying to figure out what day you actually had the show. So I was like, I think it's Tuesday. No, I think it's Wednesday. Wait a minute. I think it's Thursday.
He went through all the days. He was like Monday, Tuesday.
Sometime during the week.
At least he knows that I'm not just like, I just wanted to take the night off, right? Yeah. So big shout out to Lawrence and Cuvo Radio. I've been co-hosting that show with him now for a little bit over a year, and it has been so much fun. So big shout out to him and for taking a gamble on me, because I was new to the whole podcast thing. I had done some radio stuff there with Magic 104.9 in Corpus. I had my own blues radio station or blues show for, I don't know, about 2 years. And the one who taught me the ropes in that was Mr. David Noyola. So, I mean, he really did take me under his wing. And I missed doing that. And so when Lawrence gave me the opportunity, I jumped at it. And it's been amazing, an amazing ride. So
yes, and a great guy as well at that. So, yeah, can wish you the best of luck and continue doing your thing over there with him as well. Music-wise, we'll be waiting for some new tunes as well. But right now, you guys can go out and stream the new single, Aquí Estoy. Okay, it's available on all digital platforms, guys. All right, and very, very, very soon, I'm sure there's going to be a video soon, so be on the lookout for that. Follow her on her social media pages. What are your handles to all that? Is it the same handle for most of them?
I tried to be consistent, but it doesn't ever work. So just you can go and find Hilda Lamas with one L. Some of them are Hilda Lamas Official, Hilda Lamas Music. But my website, hildalamasmusic.com, has all the links on there. And of course, you can always hit the booking number and ask any kind of information or anything like that. He'll have tons of it there for you. And of course, just hit me up on my socials and DM me. We've got merch for sale. I'm in the middle of liquidating all of my current t-shirts. So right now we're doing this epic sale. All my t-shirts right now are $10 each. So just hit me up in the DMs. We got to liquidate that so we can make room for the new merch coming in.
Merch. Awesome. There you go, guys. So look her up on her social media pages. If you're not following her, follow her. And she's got a lot of great music there. And also get it on all streaming platforms. Tony, Amanda, thank you as always for being on the show with me here, co-hosting as well tonight. Any last words from you guys?
No, for me to Hilda, keep doing you. I like the enthusiasm and the drive that you have.
Thank you.
Awesome music that you've got, and can't wait for the rest of the stuff you've got coming.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person. Whenever you're in Houston again, let me know. I'll see you, girl. I'll see you on social media. I'll be like, girl, I know you're in Houston. I know you're here. Okay.
Yes. Well, I'll be over at the Internet Radio Gala in San Antonio next week. Okay. So I don't know if you guys have plans to be there, but I will be there. So hopefully we'll get to, hang out a little bit.
Absolutely. It was
during
a pleasure
Fanfare.
meeting you.
Will you be performing at Fanfare as well? I forgot to ask you that, Hilda.
This year, no, unfortunately not. I just had some prior obligations that just are preventing me from doing that, but we are going to make a little appearance. I know for sure. I'm going with Rick. I don't know who else is going to come along with us. We always try to bring some of the other artists on the label as well. So kind of stay tuned for that. I'm sure that he'll put it up on the CHR Records socials and stuff like that. But we are going to make an appearance there at the Internet Radio Gala.
There you go. So be on the lookout for her, guys. Everybody that's headed for San Antonio for Fanfare Week. I believe that's going to be on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, I think it is on Thursday.
Yes. It's an all-day event. I want to say it's a pretty much all day. Yeah, it's going to be a long day, but I mean, it's a lot to do. A lot of artists are going to be there and whatnot, and you'll have an opportunity to meet her as well. So make plans to go out there and attend that there in San Antonio coming up very, very soon, guys. So yes, again, just follow her on her social media pages, and she will tell you all about it. All right, guys.
Yes.
So again, guys, thank you so much, all three of you. Great show tonight. You guys, Hilda, continue to do your thing. We wish you continued success, and and anything you have in front of you going forward, keep doing your thing.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys, and thank you again for having me on the show.
Anytime, you're welcome back. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.